I could tell you're a straight shooter, and you definitely don't waste a lot of time, and you are very thorough. Any questions I didn't ask you, since we have a little bit of time, or we're ending a little early? Any questions that I didn't get a chance to ask you, or did we cover a good start?
I think that's good. We didn't spend a lot of time talking about healthcare, but I do want to mention that.
I did. Thank you. Why don't we talk about that now?
I do a lot of healthcare, and the reason I have to do a lot of healthcare is because brokers are often overwhelmed with these rules. The Obama rules, the Obamacare rules are, again, for me, it's inexcusable what's happened. But you have to explain that there was a Democrat and then a Republican in the presidential office, and so nothing was done with Obamacare since Obama left office. But it's left people in the lurches. And one of the things that I'm seeing right now that drives me crazy is people, under the Obamacare rules, you have to offer a benefit of at least this amount. So they're trying to quantify what the benefit is. And secondarily, you have to offer it to all of your employees that are full-time. And full-time is a very low standard. It's 20 hours a week is basically what it is.
Oh, wow.
Which is 1,000 hours a year. But the point of all of that is that many, many people are offering what they're satisfying the law. They're going to the broker says, if you offer this, you're okay. You satisfy Obamacare. But what happens is employees look at it, and they look at it in terms of how much is coming out of my paycheck. And one of the things that most people don't understand is that the amount that you pay for healthcare when you're an employee is heavily subsidized by the employer. It has to be subsidized at least to about 10% of pay, or it doesn't satisfy the rules. So there's a significant contribution going on. But when someone sees, to buy the employer's healthcare, it costs me $400 a month to cover my family, and then they go on the website that has Obamacare and they see that they can cover their whole family for $200, it becomes a simple decision. They go to the Obamacare one and do the $200 one. But what they don't understand is that they're violating the rules. And what happens is the employer then gets called in and said, you have employees that have not been offered Obamacare valued benefits. And so you're going to have to pay this penalty for every month that you didn't give it to them. And I'm seeing six figures in these things. I mean, I'm talking $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 penalties for this exact scenario that I just described, where the client completely obeyed the law, but the employee went and went on the website and wildcarded getting a healthcare coverage, and the employer is now being called on the carpet about it. Don't pay that. Pay attention to that. React to that. And one of the hardest problems we have right now is we're not able to get them to respond to that in a timely fashion. I have a person that's been fighting one of these for 4 years now, since 2017. And we still haven't heard back from the government. And that's irresponsible. I mean, in this case, it's a $550,000 penalty. Oh, wow. I mean, that gets anybody's attention, believe me. And that's unfortunately what we're working with. The government hasn't even put out the rules yet, so we don't know what the law is. That's how crazy it is.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Well, I wish we should have another session, and we can get into more details now that you've got me interested about this. Lesson learned, don't mess with ERISA, contact you. I got the message.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I like to make myself available because it's part of what happens. I cannot stand, and I'm going to close with this. A lot of people believe in pro bono, and I'm a very starch advocate of that. Pro bono is free legal services for people. And one of the things that I do is I regularly go on a website that's called Avo, and what it is it's a way to get lawyers. But what I do is I answer questions that people ask on that website, because I want them to understand that it's not a mystical thing that they're going after. And many times they can't get these answers. And so I create these answers on Avo. And a lot of what you see on my website, the questions that I answer are things from Avo. Because I want the public to understand that there really isn't conspiracy theories when it comes to retirement plans, because the rules are so broad and expansive. And so I want people to understand that most of what's going on is normal. I see people ask questions like, I left my company 2 weeks ago and they still haven't got me my 401k plan. The answer to that is if they want to, they can wait till you're age 65 to pay it to you. So be nice to them. Be nice to them and ask them for it, and they'll give it to you. And see, that's what I try to do, is get people to understand that the employer's not always being a jerk about this. Many times they have many options and they just aren't choosing to do it in this particular situation.